And happy new year and Monday, January 4th, 2020. And since it is a brand new year, I want to make an announcement that as of today, this podcast will no longer be known as Smoke Sessions. It will now be known as Spark It Up. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Kirk Cadet, and he is the living legend himself, El Rahmani. What's going on, man?
Sparking up ideas, sparking up debates, and sparking up some trees.
Like the sound of that, man? Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year's. Whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
so how was the birthday celebration and all that good stuff?
Very non-existent.
Ah, for
Yeah, we'll
real?
probably do it not this coming weekend, but maybe next weekend.
Okay, fair enough. You guys didn't do it on New Year's and on your birthday, but you're still gonna do
Yeah,
it.
we'll probably end up doing it anyway. Just a slight delay.
Kind of like a belated wedding when a couple can't afford to throw a real wedding. When they get money later on, they throw an actual one.
I guess something like that. Just a delayed fuse, just a short delay, no big deal.
All right, good shit. So you have the bowl packed, or you still need a couple
I'm breaking up the
minutes?
trees right now.
Break it up, break it up, break it up.
Yeah, I wasn't home all day. Also, I've been crashing for a couple days, so he's been kind of taking over the lab of the studio and like the trees and everything. I'm like, I don't know where anything is. And you know what I'm saying? It's not like everything's like where I left it. So I'm just grab the shit. I'm breaking it up right now. Um, yeah, your shit's already packed.
Yeah, my shit's packed. It's crazy, man. I didn't do much for New Year's either. And the one thing that just tripped me the fuck out was just seeing in Times Square that there was nobody there.
What's up with New York? Is it like on full? Is New York's locked down? Like they have like a
It's a different thing every week. Like one week I hear that restaurants are shut down, another week I hear they can do outside service only, and another week this thing is shut down, that thing is shut down. Every freaking week it's something different.
right. But I'm saying, let's say restaurants are shut down. Are people allowed to leave their houses and just walk around outside, go to the park, go work out, like like travel freely?
I think so, as far as I know, but I could be wrong.
Right. So like people weren't allowed to go to Times Square. They just no one showed up.
I'm not sure exactly what the case was. Maybe it might have been like a policy they had, but all I know is I saw the
Mm.
footage of it, and I'm like, damn, I cannot believe this shit. Like that's unheard of.
Oh, word.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't see the fun in that shit, regardless.
Yeah. Generally, New York being empty in any type of capacity is unheard of.
No, but I'm saying like even when we did live in New York, that going to Times Square for New Year's Eve shit just never sounded appealing at all.
Oh nah, fuck
Especially
that.
considering how fucking cold it is during that time of year.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
no.
and and even Times Square on a regular day is a mission and not really as fun as it may seem. And on fucking New Year's Eve, where you're all like in a tight space and you can barely move and you're freezing your ass off, that's not a fucking way I want to ring in the new year. No fucking thank you.
Fuck that. Yeah, I'm not really into the tourist trap bullshit. You know what I mean? Like every time, like if I'm traveling abroad and I go to a restaurant and I see a bunch of tourists, I'm like, nope. And then let's say I'm in Italy and I go to a restaurant and I hear everyone talking Italian, I'm like, oh, this is where the locals eat. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to fall in the tourist traps.
Yeah, I guess for the same reason why you're not into chain restaurants for that matter.
Yeah, I guess it's a similar avoidance. I avoid a lot of shit apparently. News, politics, chain restaurants, tourist traps, commercials, voting.
Yeah, anything commercialized and thrown in your face, El Rahmani is not a fan of.
All right, well, my bowl is packed, but hold on. I don't have a lighter. All right, buy me fucking like 5 seconds and I'll be right there.
Cool, sounds good.
All right, the lighter has been retrieved. Told you, man, everything's not where I left it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the Goldilocks and the Bears. Like, who's been sleeping in my
Fuck.
bed? You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even my crib. Like my cousin's been home all day. I haven't been home at all today.
Okay, so to New Year's, new beginnings, and new titles for the podcast, to setting goals and making plans and actually sticking to them, and to fingers crossed this year or than this 12 months being better than the last 12 months. And if it's not, still finding the good in that 12 months regardless. Spark up.
Spark it up.
Yeah, but with the Times Square thing, it's the same thing out here in Vegas on the Strip, where everybody on New Year's Eve just gathers on the Strip in a fucking tight space. It's not as cold as New York, but it's still fucking miserably cold nonetheless. And I just see that shit on the news, and I'm
This,
like, yeah, no, thank you. I'm not going anywhere near this place.
I feel like it's a little different because the strip, for one, is a much more spread out like area than like the whole strip's a lot larger than just Times Square. So it's not like everyone's in one spot. It's like the whole strip. Not just that, Manhattan has a lot to offer that's much better than fucking Times Square. Where in Vegas, like that's like the strip is pretty much one of the best that Vegas has to
Hey,
offer.
downtown's pretty fun
Whatever. I'm
too.
just saying. I don't think it's the same, but I get what you mean. Generally, it's like I think it's just that day. It's like avoiding like the mass, like
Pandemonium.
I guess yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that shit is closed off for days. I remember I was driving on the highway on New Year's Eve going back home, and then the exits for the strip were all closed off. So yeah, I guess people were still gathering out there anyway, even with the COVID shit. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
crazy. James Harden, the dude from the Rockies, he actually got fined $50,000 for breaking the COVID protocol, and he got caught like at a nightclub taking pictures with people without a mask on.
Oh yeah.
Shit's crazy, man. Who would have ever thought?
Yeah, we all the nightclubs are shut down over here.
I mean, I wasn't really that big on them the last few years anyway, but it's so weird that the nightclubs are closed. There's no concerts, there's no pool parties, there's no shows like Circus Soleil or any of that stuff. Yeah, it's just I don't even know what the fuck Vegas is anymore.
Yeah, when do you think it's gonna go back to normal?
If it ever does, I really don't know, man. And the way it's looking now, I more than likely won't be around to see it.
Are people already getting vaccinated over there in the States?
Yeah, some people are posting saying, "Yeah, I signed up for the vaccine. I'm getting the vaccine, and taking pictures of it and everything."
And there's a lot of people already got vaccinated in Israel. I think it's like one of the leading
Yeah, and
places.
that's cool for them. I'm not gonna hate on anybody who wants to get it. That's their prerogative.
My parents got it. My
Oh, they
parents
did?
both got it. Yeah, like a couple days ago.
I have nothing against like people
Yeah.
who want to get it, but like we talked about before,
No, of course
the
not.
thing we're against is
Yeah, of
forcing
course not.
other people to get it and jumping down their throat about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to get into like what we were talking about last week about this whole culture where everybody's taught that it's okay to like just accept their flaws and not even at least try to work on them and try to be better at them. And yeah, I learned a long time ago like that's the last way to live. Like if you know deep down there's something about you that isn't right and that you know that you need to fix and that you need to improve on, then you should put in the work to get it done. You shouldn't just say, "Oh, that's just how I am. Take it or leave it. That's just how I am. Who cares? That's just how I am." Yeah, that's an immature way out. I'm not about that shit. I always been a firm believer if you know some shit is wrong with yourself and you know you have the means to at least work at it, then you should put in that work. And once you put in that work, more than likely you'll like what you see from the outcome of it.
Yeah, I think it's like it's also like just like I think it's not necessarily very responsible, from one generation to the next, you know what I mean, or for like people with influence to the masses to like normalize something extreme, especially when it's something that's very negative, you know what I mean? So like if you're suicidal, for example, that's a very extreme situation. Like it's not normal or healthy or balanced or what I'm saying like I think you have to get to a really extreme place to like decide to jump off like 20-story building. You know what I mean? Like that's an extreme situation. You know what I mean? I don't like. I think that I'm not saying that you're not okay if you reach it or that you should be shamed for it or whatever. That it's not natural, it doesn't happen or whatever. I'm just saying that it should still be regarded as extreme, even if you get there. Like I'm not like you should have support, obviously, but to like drop that label and be like, oh, it's okay, it's normal, don't worry about it. Like, nah, bro, like it's extreme and it should be regarded that way. So it's dealt with appropriately, and I don't think we should be normalizing like certain things. I'm saying like they shouldn't like you shouldn't be an outcast because of them. Like like I said, a lot of these social movements start off with something really positive, but it just ends up crossing like a certain line and it ends up doing damage as well. So you know what I mean? Like obviously there should be awareness and all these things and support, and people shouldn't feel like they're the only ones. And I get all that. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, it's a thin line between also like letting them know that it's okay and that they should be like that, and like that there's nothing they can do about it, and if they're not like that, then they're not part of the norm, they're not accepted, and like almost like it's cool or trendy, what I'm saying, like to be depressed or whatever, what I mean, like there's like a fine line. And what I mean, like a lot of times people get so on the bandwagon with these social movements, if it's for gays or if it's for Black Lives Matter, or if it's anti-police, or if it's anti-racist or anti-white male privilege or whatever the fuck it may be, what I'm saying, anti-men in general, pro-women, like all, it doesn't matter what it is. A lot of these things really start off good, like political correctness and being more considerate of others and all that shit. They start off like good, but then like there's a fine line where it kind of loses the point, because people are so on the bandwagon, they take it too far. You know what I mean? It ends up having
It gets corrupted,
like a negative counter effect. So like, yeah, like you should definitely know if you're depressed. You're not the only one. I don't give a fuck who it is. Everyone feels that and goes through that. It's a natural human emotion. You know what I mean? But to like, it's not something you should embrace and like settle for and like create like as a norm for you. Like it's gonna happen regardless, but it should be 80-20. 20% of the time, if you get down and you're depressed, that's fine. It shouldn't be the default. You shouldn't be depressed 80% of the time.
yeah. But one thing I've learned is that your mental health is no excuse to treat other people like shit.
Oh, definitely.
No matter what you're going through, no matter what conflict you're going through, you have the right to feel however you feel about it, but you don't have the right to execute certain behavior because of that. Because in the end, that only makes you look like an ass.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that like two wrongs don't make a right. Just because you're feeling down or because you have a certain issue or whatever, it doesn't excuse you. You know what I'm
Back
saying?
with the protest and stuff. I mean, as angry as I am about all these incidents that go down and these cops getting off, and as right as I have to feel that way, at the same time, I don't have the right to go out and throw a trash can through somebody's business window or anything like that, or set it on fire. Like that shit's not cool either.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I feel like there is a difference between looting and rioting. You know what I mean? And like rioting, I can kind of understand, even though it does cross some type of line. I can understand how it could be viewed on negatively, but at some point, like when you peacefully protest so many times and it goes ignored, I can understand the need or the evolution or the escalation
Or
into
the motivation
rioting.
into getting to that point.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that it's all peaches and cream. I'm just saying I get
Yeah,
it. I
exactly.
get rioting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do too.
Like
But at the same time, it's
sometimes,
not always.
yeah. But looting, right? But looting is not the same as rioting. Like looting is like you're not focusing on the message. You're focusing on like, oh, let me grab the shit. I need this and go home and stash your shit. Like that's not rioting. That's what I'm
Looking out for
saying. That's not to
yourself.
make a statement. That's for personal gain. You're stealing something. You know what I mean? That's already like where like you're taking advantage of the riot to further yourself and personal gain, and not rioting to be heard or to be seen and to make a change or a difference. You know what I mean? So like I'm not saying rioting is all okay, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? Looting is just like, nah, bro, just because like everything is like, whatever, it doesn't give you a free pass to steal.
Yeah, because I remember the LA riots in '92. As fucked up as it was, seeing all the events that led up to it, like there was no way that wasn't going to happen. It was only a matter of time. But when I went to the protest a few months ago after the George Floyd shit happened, it was all peaceful for the most part, like in the early part of it. But then once it got to like the latter part of the night, like around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then when we were like walking towards like a sketchier part of town, like that's when it started to get more hostile and people were starting to get more, fuck this authority shit, we're gonna take over. And once I saw that people were trying to like to destroy a dispensary and getting more rowdy that way, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here now.
For one, good judgment call, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I went out there to
know.
do a few chants and meet a couple people and just represent for the culture. I didn't go out there to cause trouble or get into trouble.
Right. No, definitely keep your head down. You don't want to get in trouble and all that shit. But I will say, like, there is like, okay, I tend to be like, I'm not quick to start a fight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a responsible adult. Like, if you come at me like, trying to like fight, I'm gonna try to avoid it at first. My first instinct is gonna be like, "Yeah, let's fight, bitch. I want to fight." Like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a grown ass man. I'm not trying to fight you. You know what I mean? I'll definitely defend myself, and I'm not shy of doing it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's impossible to get me there. And sometimes I can be hot tempered. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Especially when it comes to like self defense and shit like that. But I'm not like, what I'm saying. So I can, but as far as people snapping and like like a ride being unavoidable, I mean I get it, because like, all right, if someone comes at me and he's like, yo, what's up, bro? What the fuck? Blah blah blah. Like, I don't know, because of any stupid misunderstanding, whatever it may be. Even my own brother. Let's say Ben, we're fighting at work, and he's like, gets in my face, and he's like, "What's up?" And I tell him, shut the fuck up, get out of my face." And he's like, "Are you gonna make me? What's up? Let's go." Some dumb shit like that. I'm not gonna be like, "Yeah, I'll make you," and swing on him. Like, obviously, I'm not a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? But, however, if he doesn't back down and he doesn't stop and he keeps persisting and getting in my face and like yelling at me in my face and telling me, "Come at me, bro, come at me, come on, what you gonna do, you little bit," like, if he keeps asking for it, eventually he'll probably get punched or pushed or smacked, something. You know what I mean? Like, eventually, like, if he keeps persisting and doesn't let off, it's like, like, if a mosquito bites me once, I can go back to sleep. But if I
and
get
then
bit 7, 8, 9 times, I'm turning on the lights and hunting this motherfucker down. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have a limit. Like, if someone's intentionally pushing you to your limit and you can tell they're not going to stop until they get there, you might as well spare them the work and show them what you're about. And you know what I'm saying? Like, there is a point where, like, yo, if you ask me enough, I will indulge you, bro. Like, if you really want me to make you shut the fuck up enough, I will make you shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's not my first instinct. I'll try to avoid it. I'll try to like not get there. All I'm saying is, like, I can understand people snapping and saying they've had enough and riding. But looting to me is very different. You know what I mean? Because let's say someone was trying to like get in my face and whatever and blah blah blah, and I did snap and I would like punch them or kick them or push them or smack them or whatever. If I saw them backing away and like turning off and being like, "Okay, I don't want this smoke, like, I'm good," I wouldn't pursue it because I'm already enraged and I'm feeling myself. I would be like, "All right," and let them back away. I wouldn't like take advantage of that situation and be like, "Nah, too late now," and beat the shit out of them while they're like, "Oh no, please help me." Like, that's not something I would ever do. You know what I mean? So like, it's more of a mechanism, like self defense, like, back the fuck away. And if you back the fuck away, it's over. So like that's the difference, I think. Like, if you riot, it's cool. You snap. Like, sometimes actions speak louder than words. Sometimes people don't listen when you say it nice. Sometimes you got to say it mean. I get that. But like,
yeah, and sometimes the sad part is when you finally do stand up for yourself and say you've had enough and you start swinging back, the person you're swinging back at has the audacity to say, "Oh, I don't understand what you're so mad about. Why are you acting so hostile and crazy? What did I ever do to you?" What a fucking
yeah.
joke. Yeah, it bees like that
Yeah.
sometimes, man. But yeah, I'm not with that looting shit at all. Like, that's the one thing that makes us look bad. That makes all of us look bad by doing that, and I do not support it. Period. Any other form speaking out against the system and speaking out against the bullshit, I am down for 110%. And that's one of the reasons why I like doing this podcast, so we can speak out on certain things, like the fake news bullshit we see a lot of the time that tries to manipulate people into thinking a certain way.
Yeah, I try to avoid that. Like I said, you know what I mean. I don't want that part of my diet.
Yeah, just as somebody who studied this shit in school and has a degree in it, I definitely know how easy it is to manipulate information and to get a whole fucking population of people to think a certain way and to turn towards a certain narrative. It shit, you could just do that shit like that. It's nothing.
Yeah, I was chilling with a friend of mine yesterday. And he said something that really like stood out to me. It was like, you know, Hitler didn't kill 6 million Jews. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't personally kill almost any of them. You know what I mean? It's people that he convinced and followed him and did his actions for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just used the media to lie to people and have them accept very unnormal, extreme things as normal and normalize them and make them legitimate and make people say, "Yeah, of course you should kill Jews. We're patriots. Of course, they're our enemies. They're ruining our country." You know what I'm saying? Like, most people thought they were doing the, like, justify to themselves that they were doing the right thing. Obviously, there were some people that were doing it because they were afraid of their government, and they were cooperating because if you like helped like a Jewish person, you could be killed as well. You
Yeah,
know what
like
I
that
mean?
one scene in *Inglourious Bastards* in the beginning.
Yeah. So, there was definitely people who saw through the bullshit, just like there's vegans and just as like conspiracy theorists and whatever, and all these other things. But at the end of the day, it was someone convincing people that some shit that is not right and not okay and not normal is okay and is right and is normal. And he didn't necessarily do it himself. He just convinced the people that it was right. You know what I'm saying? And they did it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like people like to personify the Holocaust as like Hitler did it, like it was a one person that did it. No, it was the whole country. Like that was like normal, like that was legal, that was the law. You know what I'm saying? Like just like there's people who will snitch on you for opening your business or not wearing a mask, where people would snitch on like, oh, he's hiding Jews. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Tattletale shit.
that was that. Yeah, no, but I'm saying like they brainwashed their population and had them believe some ridiculous shit and justify it and create and like
Yeah, you
accept it.
gotta.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've just learned you gotta really be careful with that news and media shit and what information you get. Whether it's the mainstream media or the conspiracy theorist shit, you have to really be careful what you're reading and what you're looking at.
Yeah, I think people just have to remember that there's always two sides to the story. You know what I mean? If you're like
Yeah, and you
you
can't
can't
jump all over one thing all at
anything
once.
any news source that's only saying one side doesn't seem right to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna sit here and bash Trump and then praise Biden or not mention Biden as well. You know what I mean? Like if you just like only cover the perks of A and the negatives of B and don't go over the perks of B and the negatives of A, then like you're probably not telling me the whole picture. That's like I said with like those, medications. Like I would trust the medication that like said the symptoms, like they said something that will treat, give the same voice, the same tempo, the same, spotlight to the negative side effects as they will to the magic cure they claim to have or to be. But when you could tell that someone's trying to,
Take you for a
you know,
ride.
emphasize just all the good things and downplay all the negative things, and they're not being honest, they're not being truthful, they're not being direct, they're not being straightforward, they're being misleading, they're being manipulative, they're being tricky, they're being deceitful, they're lying, they're not being honest, then like why would you trust something like that?
Yeah,
You know what I
kind of
mean?
how like major record labels and the A&Rs will try to get like these underground artists to sign with them and like paint this whole big picture of how big of a star they're gonna make them and how great everything is gonna be, but yet they won't tell them the downside of everything about how basically they won't get paid until they sell these amount of records or do this much or that much, and how basically overall more than anything else they own your ass once you sign that contract. And that's the sad thing, is that a lot of people don't realize when they're being manipulated and being fucked with until it's already happened. And with that new shit, it happens all
Yeah.
too often. I think that's one of the reasons
Yeah.
why I got into journalism, why I feel so passionately about it, is that I feel like it should be as honest and as sincere and genuine as possible.
Yeah, genuine for sure. Authentic,
Yeah.
genuine, honest, you know what I'm saying? And
One of the
like
biggest compliments I got from my professors is that they liked my instincts with the stories I would cover and like the things I would talk about, because they were original ideas and the people like other people wouldn't come up with normally.
yeah. I know we talked a couple of times like joking about like if we would, run like a campaign or whatever. And I said like that would be my whole strategy. It's just honest and genuine, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what um people want, and I think that's what some people thought they were gonna get with Trump, you know what I mean? Um just because he spoke differently.
And my thing was that I get that people were sick of these bullshit politicians trying to spoon feed them lies and trying to act like they're friends with
But
them.
is
It's not,
he really
but I'm like,
genuine and
yo,
honest? You know what I mean? Like
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, do you really think this dude is any better?
yeah.
Do you think he's not trying to fuck you too? You think he actually gives a fuck whether you live or die, or if you're woke or unwoke?
Yeah. Like I get why people thought they wanted him, because they felt like it was different from the shit they had, and they thought maybe he would be honest and he doesn't play by the rules, and he's an outsider and he doesn't give a fuck and he's rich and all this shit. Like I get the appeal, but that's not like I'm talking about like honesty on a whole
I
nother
compare a
level. You
lot
know
of
what
the
I
things
mean?
with Trump to the Occupy
Um,
Wall Street movement. My thing was that people were all protesting the Wall Street motherfuckers who like made the economy go bad with the '08 crash and everything, and we're all about the billionaires being evil and the billionaires fucking everything for everybody else. And I just say to myself, like, who's a more bigger representation of that than Trump is? And you're gonna be on this dude's dick?
Yeah, I feel like just because you didn't like technically lie on purpose doesn't mean you were being transparent. You know what I mean? And like, there's a difference between, like I said, being transparent and, well, I technically didn't lie. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean?
crazy. And that's one of the reasons why I'm honestly grateful that I got into school later and got into journalism a lot later, is because a lot of the things I learned before that when I was out of school, of like, thinking for myself and, being my own person and all that good stuff, it really served me well and like taught me the difference between the bullshit journalism and the real shit journalism. And I want to do that real shit journalism all day, every day.
Yeah, that's true. If you would have done it
I would have
sooner,
gotten
maybe
corrupted
you would have been caught up in the act. Yeah,
and
caught
believed
up in
every
the
last thing I
bullshit.
see on the news and not question any of it. Yes, Master Channel 7, I believe everything you say. I don't want to think for myself. I want you to do all my thinking for me. Oh, fucking thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
you gotta make that shit better, man. And I feel like even without like necessarily having the career yet, I feel like with the work I've been doing with the story and also with the podcast and the blog and stuff, I'm already serving it. And it's kind of like what Mr. Miyagi said: "Man who worked for passion always richer than man who worked for money."
Mm. Go, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, that Cobra Kai shit was hard body. That third season was something to fucking treasure. Real talk.
Nice. So would you say it was the best one?
I don't know if I could say it was the best season per se, but that shit was definitely worth every episode, every minute.
Nice, nice.
That's one of the few times where they got the remake right, or like they got the reboot right.
Is it a reboot? It's not like a sequel?
No, it's a show based on the characters from the Karate Kid movies.
Right, but technically it takes place after the movie. It continues. It's a
Yeah, it's in
continuity,
modern times.
It's not a reboot. A reboot is when you like started over in like a
Yeah, I
different
meant to say like
direction.
yeah, it's a new show where they're like bringing it back in modern times.
Right. It's like a sequel. It's technically a sequel. It just set a lot in the future, like Watchmen. If you saw the movie and the show, the show is technically a sequel. It's just set like years later, like Train Spotting. It's not like an immediate continuation. It picks it up
Yeah, like
later
it
in
was the
time. You know what I
Karate
mean?
Kid movies were in the 80s and now it's like in modern times, like 2018,
Right,
2019.
right, right, right. But it like in the show, what happened in the movie still
Yeah,
happened in the
absolutely.
show,
Yeah, what
right?
happened in the movie?
Yeah, so it's a continuation. It builds on the it keeps that intact and builds on top of it. You know what I mean? That's like a sequel. A reboot is like when you take something, right, and you like go back to the beginning. Like, no, this is how it started. We reimagined it. Like it's like we rebooted it. We did. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. Like that's what it is to me. I don't know.
Yeah, basically the consensus of it is that after the first movie, when the bad guy loses Johnny Lawrence, he like falls into a funk and into depression, and his life like fucking falls apart. And then after the fight in the first one, Daniel's son does well for himself. He has a successful business. He has a nice family. He's doing well, all that good stuff. And then years later, they end up crossing paths again. And then like Johnny Lawrence feels like a loser because his life didn't go anywhere, and Daniel's son's all successful. And then he ends up restarting the karate school he was in when he was in high school. But he, instead of like making it more corrupt and like teaching them to fight dirty, he tries to teach him the right way because he realizes like the way he was taught by the old school karate.
Learn the errors of his
Yeah, like
ways.
he realizes the way he was taught in the original Cobra Kai was shady and grimy, and it's one of the reasons why he got on a bad path. So he's trying like to
So
redo
the
it.
bad guy becomes the good guy, and the good guy becomes the bad
Nah,
guy.
Daniel's son is still good, but they kind of have like an like sketchy relationship where like one day they're cool, one day they're not cool. But then the old school dude from the original Karate Kid movies, the original Cobra Kai owner, comes back and he like kind of tries to retake over it and make it more shady and make it like grimy the way it was before. So that's kind of the consensus of the show. Yeah, it's a
Gotcha.
lot about that bullying shit though. Like the bullying thing is a real big part of it.
Yeah, no, I heard everyone seems to like it. I heard good things about it. What's up with the whole substitute teacher thing? Did you apply at some spots, or
Yeah, I did. I'm just waiting to hear back because we're gonna see what happens.
you said about maybe being a teacher?
I don't know how to feel about it honestly. It's kind of like a new territory, so I'm not sure exactly what to expect from it.
Do you know, like, as far as what you applied, like what ages it would be, or what subject, or it's just like every day something else?
Every day something else from what I understand.
Ages as well, not just
Yeah, I
subjects.
believe so. But we'll see what comes out of it, man. Who knows? I could end up doing it for a day and not liking it. I could end up doing it for a year and end up becoming a teacher full time. Anything's possible.
Yeah, you know. What if you were a teacher full time? Which subject or which age group would you teach? Like which grade and which
I'd probably like
subject?
to teach history class, maybe. Yeah, history class, maybe English class too.
Well, you have a good memory.
Yeah, I think history class would be fun. I wouldn't mind teaching like a history class.
And what grade would you want to teach?
Elementary school. Yeah, elementary school.
Like what age? What grade? Like first grade? Oh, before like first grade,
Like no, elementary school, like third grade, fourth grade, like around that neighborhood.
not fifth grade. Your favorite year of life.
Yeah, fifth grade would be cool too.
So you're a fifth grade history teacher. If I was a teacher, I'd probably be like a high school like geometry teacher or some shit like that.
You would be the teachers what Kevin was to being a manager.
Thank you. I don't know if I think that is a compliment.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I mean, you're not necessarily far from the truth, but yeah, it's funny. Like you'd
You
be
would
like a
probably get sent to the
history.
principal's office.
You mean I'd still be getting in trouble in school, in high school, even as a staff
Yeah, I could
member?
see you like doing your teaching your own way in your own style, and like the principal doesn't like it, and but at the same time he can't fire you because you're so effective in your ways, and it kind of like has a love hate dynamic between you guys.
You already wrote the whole script and
Yeah, I could
everything.
make it into a movie.
No, let's do
Yeah,
it.
Kevin Hart could play you.
I'd be Kevin Hart. Yeah, Kevin Hart would
Yeah,
be
some
me.
shit like that.
Who would play fifth grade history teacher Kurt?
I don't know, son. I think I'd probably just have to play myself. I make my acting
Nah,
debut.
if I'm Kevin Hart, you're Danny DeVito.
Fuck it, why not? Yo, but one thing I will say about teachers is that that's bullshit is that they do not get paid enough. Like I see the salaries of a lot of teachers and like the work they have to put into it and the responsibility that comes with it. And that's some bullshit that they get the salaries that they do. I remember my ex was a teacher and the money she would tell me she would make, it was, and for the amount of time she'd been doing it too, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it seems also from my experience that seems to be a pretty universal problem. Like everywhere, people say that like teachers don't make shit. Like it's not just in one place. It seems like everywhere that I go, like that's what I hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's sad, man, because they're glorified babysitters and they spend a lot of valuable time with your kids. You guys, man, people don't realize that.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. How do you feel about most of your teachers looking back? Like, because I feel like a lot of times the institutions that they're a part of don't necessarily um, allow them the resources or the structure to really like, you know, be like that role model for your child or whatever. You know, sometimes they are like glorified babysitters, and sometimes they're even very bitter
Oh, of
and
course. You
abusive.
remember Miss Tobin, right?
Slightly, yes. I remember her not being very popular among the students.
No, she was not, man. She was not
Yeah,
friendly at all. And I
yeah,
could probably tell that maybe she was probably teaching longer than she should have, or that maybe she
yeah.
thought teaching was going to be something different going into it. And then when she got into it, it was something she wasn't expecting. So it's possible that could have contributed to the.
This is very stereotypical, and it's obviously not a like a scientific fact. But I always had this impression when I was in school that like the male teachers would like start like very aggressive and try to like prove that they're in control, and like be very like hostile sometimes towards students or whatever. You know
I
what I mean?
wouldn't say that.
With like
I wouldn't say that.
authority. Hold on, like with authority and shit like that. But as their career would progress, they'd be like, I don't give a fuck and chilled and whatever, and the female ones would start off all scared and shy or whatever, and as their careers would progress, end up being like bitter and hostile. You know what I mean?
Oh shit.
Like the dudes would start off like very like aggressive and end up like chilled, and the chicks like would start off very like chilled and end up very aggressive. Not always,
Yeah,
of course. Like I said, it's just like a stereotype technically that I've kind of like from my personal experience. I'm not saying it's like a scientific fact or something.
yeah, it's a possibility, but I would say like I didn't notice the male teachers being as aggressive as much as like the administrators I noticed being aggressive. Like the Larry type guys, like those guys I noticed being more aggressive than the teachers.
I meant like have you ever had like a brand new teacher like a male teacher that's just starting, or you know what I'm saying, like I feel like at first he's more like trying to like assert his dominance or whatever, prove that he's serious or whatever, like don't test me, whatever. And then like with time goes by, he doesn't give a fuck anymore. And with like the female ones, sometimes it felt like the opposite. Like at first they were like all shy and like more cautious or whatever, and like with time they like or like you said like Miss Dobin like bitter or whatever, very hostile.
Yeah, I just hope I don't become like them. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but that's in any field. Like I've had waiters that were amazing, and like they just been there too long, and I'm like,
Bingo.
yeah, you need to you need to quit, bro. Like you need to quit. You know what I'm
I'm still
saying?
pretty decent in my job, but yeah, I've been on autopilot now for like I get to last like 5 years.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's why
crazy.
like even if the substitute teacher thing doesn't work out per se, I just need to find something else for now and then until the journalism thing works out or whatever else works out.
Somewhere else as well.
Yeah, it's 4 months, man. 4 more months.
Yeah.
Who knows where I will end up, but we will
You better
see.
start thinking about it. You know what I
I
mean?
am. I'm starting
It's,
this week.
it's sooner than you think. It's right around the corner.
Yes, indeed, and we will get up on that when we get up on that. But back to the teacher thing, the substitute teacher thing. If it does work out, I wouldn't mind dating some teachers. That'd be a
Oh
nice
shit.
look. The one thing I always did like about school were the hot teachers, though. For the very few of them I did have, that shit was always nice. Distracting as fuck at times,
Let's just
but
say I noticed. Let's say I noticed the hot students more.
I'm not saying I didn't either. But the fucking hot teachers definitely deserve appreciation too. Real talk. Yeah, that shit was always a nice, like, especially a sub. Yeah, that shit was clutch. Oh shit.
Oh man. Or especially a fellow student's mother.
Yes, yes. I think the people who know us best know who we're talking about. Oh shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
milfs of the world make the world go round. I salute all of them.
Well, that took a turn.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Fuck it. Who cares? I like milfs.
Speaking about teachers' fair pay, MILFs.
Yeah, they definitely need to get more money than they get because that shit is whack sauce. So anybody who has a college degree and goes through all that shit needs to get paid at least a decent salary getting into their respective careers.
Anyone who works a full wage, you know what I'm saying? Like works full time should be able to like live
Yes, yes, you're
decently.
right.
You know
You're
what I
right.
mean? Like
College,
yeah, you know what I mean?
college
Like
degree or no college degree, anybody who works 40 hours a week should get a living wage.
yeah, you know what I
I
mean?
don't understand what people would
Like
have against that. I really don't understand why people would vote against people getting a fair
yeah, like if
wage.
you look at how much more expensive life has become, and look at how the minimum wage has grown to reflect that, there's like it no, you know what I'm saying? Like why,
Get the fuck out
you
of
know
here.
what I mean? Like yeah, it's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like jobs that people have to do. Like, someone's got to do this shit. I'm not saying those are my aspirations. You know what I mean? I've mostly done well for myself. Like I'm not like not amazing, but well, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like someone's gonna have to do those jobs. I think we touched on it earlier. Like the system is not designed for everyone to succeed. Like the system wouldn't operate in that manner. Like for everyone to be, you know, X amount successful, you need a couple of people being Y amount less successful. You know what I mean? It's built like a pyramid. You know what I'm saying? Like the top stand on the shoulders of the ones underneath them, which stand on the shoulders of the ones underneath them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Um, so you know what I mean? Like someone's got to do this shit. They should be able to at least live decently, especially if you look at the quality of life you have towards the top. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, hopefully those days will come sooner than later. Yeah, I saw people getting upset that in Florida
don't
that
hold your breath.
yeah, I saw people getting upset like during the election time that Florida raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour. They're saying, "Oh, fuck this shit. This is horrible. I can't believe how much money this is going to cost all of us." I'm like, how fucking selfish are you, bro? Like, you want to talk about the mask, no mask thing being selfish? That shit is selfish.
Yeah. Well, listen, I do feel like I can understand like the people being upset. Like if you have a small business and you can barely make ends meet, you know what I mean? Like, and all of a sudden now your labor cost goes up, then I understand. But the whole thing is like most of the people with these minimum wage shifts, well, I don't know if it's most, but a fair chunk, probably half in the States or something like that, or something close, aren't working for small mom and pop, small owned businesses, or working for huge corporations like, Walmart or, what I'm
Target.
saying, shit like that.
Oh, Target pays
Yeah,
15
you
an
know what I
hour
mean? Like,
though. Target does pay 15 an hour.
right. But I'm saying, like, and it's like, those corporations seem to be getting more assistance from the government than the small businesses that still employ half the population. You know what I mean? Yes, I think that the minimum wage should be a livable wage, but also I think that the government should, not just pass the law and deal with it. They should make sure that they're taking care of businesses that need the help being affected by the change, and making sure that those businesses succeed and don't crash and burn. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to within the same budget that they're already helping, just help the underdog instead of helping the one on top that's standing on their shoulders. You know what I mean? Because like the only issue with the system is I do think there should be a free market, and you should be able to be as successful as you want. And if you're content not being, that's on you, and that's fine as well. But we all pay taxes, and those taxes should reflect all taxpayers' interests. And when you have all the taxes only reflecting a certain minority's interests, you know what I'm saying, because they have more financial influence, you know what I mean, then it's kind of a problem, especially when it's done in like dishonest and not transparent ways. And it's like if everyone at the bottom is just treated as disposable, you know what I'm saying, um, then it's not a solid foundation to build anything on. You know what I mean? So like I'm fine with the free market and all that shit, but people are like, oh, free this, that's socialist. It's not free. You're fucking paying taxes. You know what I mean? Your taxes should represent you as well, and not like, oh, give me your money, fuck you, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know what I mean? I think like that's what I've been saying. Like politics is bullshit. Like I don't need the like to pick fucking people and fucking that are never gonna represent me anyway. You know what I mean? Like let me vote financially. Let me financially like be involved with like the way shit is being spent. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I hate to go back to it, but I said J. Cole, I quoted on him on it. He's like, bitch, it's 2018. Let me fund the taxes, like the shit I'm paying for with an app on my screen or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like that's like reform, not changing Trump to Biden. That doesn't
Or
change
removing an
shit.
episode
You
of The
know what I
Golden
mean?
Girls where they use blackface. Yeah, these fucking
Exactly.
little band-aid policies. Get the fuck out of here. We need permanent healing, permanent ways of fixing the issue, not shit that's just gonna fucking temporarily fix it.
Right, not changing the mascot. You need to change the
Yeah.
system. You know what I mean? The
But yet when
structure.
you
You know what I
talk
mean?
about that aspect of it, it's like, oh, you're being selfish. Oh, we need to focus on this problem first, and we'll focus on that problem later. But then later never comes.
If the definition of me being involved in making a difference is only voting once every 4 years for a president, and that's all I get to be a part of, I'd rather just not take part in it. That's not change. That's not for the people, by the people. That's bullshit. That's a parade.
Damn, son, the
So
liberals aren't gonna like you for saying this shit. That's for real. Then again, who gives a fuck?
do you? I don't know. You can agree or disagree. I don't know. It's everyone's personal decision. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, like I don't really feel that's like really doing anything. I think that's just like playing pretend that you know what I'm saying. But like I said, if I get to pick like what I'm funding with my tax dollars, you know what I'm saying, at least to some extent, on a regular basis, then I feel like I have a voice, because your only real vote is money today. You know what I'm saying? No one gives a fuck about anything else. You know what I'm saying? You vote with how you spend your money, and that should be reflected. That should be politics. That should be government. That should be reflected in
Yeah, and
government.
that's one thing I've been hearing from a lot of people lately is to like support small businesses more and to put more of your money in them as opposed to places like Amazon. Yeah, I've been seeing like a lot of people was calling for like a boycott of Amazon because of all the money they made through this entire pandemic, and apparently, like I guess like they don't pay any taxes, they don't treat their employees well, or both. So yeah, bro, it's always the little man that's always getting stomped on, while the big man's always fucking people over and yet getting a pat on the back for it. Not a good look, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing, that if you think your enemy is like the fucking is your neighbor who's just as broke as you, just because he's left wing and you're right wing or the opposite, then like you're caught
Yeah,
up in
like
the wrong
I'm not
fight. You
gonna
know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not
Like,
gonna not be friends with somebody just because they're Republican or they voted for Trump or because they watch Fox News.
it's like you got someone standing on your shoulders, and you're fighting with a guy next to you about who's got more weight shifted on him, instead of both you guys, throwing this dude off your shoulders and be like, nah, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's divide and conquer. It's like instead of both of you guys uniting to get someone off your shoulders, you're fighting with each other about who's gonna take most of the brunt of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it's hacking branches. It's not going to the root of the problem. It's just
It's
hacking the
like the dude who's
branches.
taking it's like 20 cookies on the table, and there's dude who's taking 18 cookies, and then there's like two cookies left, and the dude taking all the 18 cookies says, "Yo, watch out for that other guy over there. He's gonna take the last two cookies."
Yeah, something like that. And we all know how Kurt feels about his cookies.
Damn right, cookies all day, every day.
Cookies rule everything around me. Cookies get the money. Dollar
Y'all.
bill, y'all. Chocolate chip,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
What?
Yes, sir. Hey, the gingerbread ones and the fucking German chocolate ones are solid too.
Cookies rule everything around me. Cookies get the money. Chocolate chip, y'all.
Cookies just make everything better, bro. Whether it's ice cream, whether it's cake, whether it's just pie, that shit just makes everything better.
Pie with cookies? What the fuck is pie with cookies?
Hey, it sounds like something that could work.
I don't know about cookie pie. I've never heard of
Like
that.
a piece of pumpkin pie with, like, I don't know, a fucking chocolate chip cookie, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe with chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
That would work too.
That could work. Yeah, like apple pie with or some shit like that, or cherry pie or some shit with chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
I used to love those Boston cookies in New York. Those Boston chocolate chip cookies. I would buy those and make sundaes out of them. Yeah, my sweet tooth can go for days, man. That shit can.
Oh, I know. Believe me, you've shocked me already.
Yes, and I do not play. Do not play. That's not the only good thing I do with my mouth. That's another story.
Ooh, bad boy.
Bad Kurt. He makes them feel so good.
Standing ovation. All right, man. Anything else for episode? Which episode is this?
This is episode 39.
Is it episode 39 or is it episode 1 of Spark It Up?
That's a good question, bro. I guess we'll know in due time. I guess it's episode 30. I guess it's both. I guess you could say it's both.
All right. Well, do you have a different outro now too, or just a different intro?
So for the El Rahmani, this is the Kirk Cadet coming at you with the Spark It Up. We hope you like our new name. We hope you enjoy the format we'll be bringing to you in the coming weeks, because it's a new year. It's a new vibe. But we coming at you with that fire shit. So get ready. It's gonna get hot, motherfuckers.
Yeah, Chico. Yeah, man.
All right, so for El Rahmani, this is Kirk Cadet for the first edition, technically, of Spark It Up. And we will see you guys next time.
Sparking up debates, sparking up ideas, and sparking up some trees.
There we go, baby.
Peace.